Last night on MasterChef Australia, a recipe-free elimination challenge had everyone on the back foot. But it was Danielle who stumbled.
Sorry, my darling.
This has been an incredible experience and not something I would ever trade for the world.
Tonight, a huge opportunity for Billy.
If you win this immunity challenge, you will guarantee your place in the top 10 of MasterChef Australia.
But his opponent is as tough as they come.
Exactly how long have you been baking?
Just over 70 years.
She's a multi-award winning veteran of the Bake Off.
Sugar right, Jack.
And Billy will need every trick in the book to keep his hopes alive.
I scored your dish.
You're hot and you're cold, you're yes and you're no, you're in and you're out, you're up and you're down, you're wrong when it's right, it's black and it's white, we fight, we break up, we kiss, we make up. You're hot and you're cold, you're yes and you're no, you're in and you're out, you're up and you're down, you're wrong when it's right, it's black and it's white, we fight, we break up, we kiss, we make up.
Making a breakfast. Well, it's going to be a dessert.
What? For breakfast?
Yeah.
I won the challenge at Moran's Family Farm.
The winner, Billy.
Best in show. There you go. Today I'm here for the immunity challenge and hopefully I'll bring back a gold pin. It's always a great feeling to have Chef's White on. You know that you got nothing to lose. I try not to stress out too much. I try to relax, stay calm, and do the best I can.
Billy walks into the kitchen this morning. He's fully decked out in the chef whites. He looks like a chef. He's smiling, and I think he's ready to go.
Billy, welcome back to the MasterChef kitchen. You're fighting for this, a chance at winning this immunity pin. You want it?
Sure do.
Today, we've got one of the best chefs in this country joining us on the judging panel. She is, of course, from Universal in Sydney, which always wears two chef's hats, Christine Manfield.
Remember, cook with your heart and keep your head engaged. You're in there to win.
I will, thank you.
Billy, today you face one of the most awarded food people in the country, and certainly the most awarded cook that has ever walked through those doors. We're talking over 1,000 awards. Margaret Fulton.
I look at Michael and I think, who could it be?
Michelle Roux.
Thank you.
Got thousands of these awards, and how old are they?
Tony Bellson.
Can't wait to see her in the MasterChef kitchen, master cake maker, Merle Parrish.
It's adorable.
I'm Merle Parrish. I live in the Orange District. I've competed and judged in most of the shows from Jerabong to Oberon, Bathurst, Orange and Wellington. I think I've been a winner more than I've been a loser. I just love the competitive atmosphere. Watch out, MasterChef. Good morning, everyone.
Welcome.
Welcome, Merle.
Thank you.
Merle, welcome to the MasterChef kitchen.
Thank you.
Now, you've been baking a long time. Exactly how long have you been baking?
Just over 70 years.
70 years. I think I probably have like 65 years to catch up.
Billy, it's not exaggerating to say that Merle is a world-class baker. You, on the other hand, are our Prince of Pastry here in the MasterChef kitchen. So if anyone can beat her, you can. We're going to go and we'll await your dishes with pleasure. Good luck, guys.
This is all about traditional baking. Merle has brought along her recipe for the dish that's underneath that cloche. Let's have a look.
Billy, you will be cooking peach blossom cake.
Looking at the cake, you know, it looks quite simple, but when you look closer, you can see that the edges are exactly perfect. The icing's put on perfectly.
So, Merle, is this all Billy's going to be cooking today?
No, it isn't, Billy. I would like you to also cook some cupcakes.
I wasn't expecting that.
They are perfect cupcakes, and that is a perfect peach blossom cake. And that's what you've got to achieve, Billy. Remember, you're competing against a champion here. Right, Billy, recipe?
Yes, please.
I don't have it.
I have it.
Merle's got it.
Oh,
There is the recipe for your 2 cakes.
oh, thank you. Handwritten recipe, I haven't seen it for years. I think this is really, it's precious.
Billy, you might notice there's actually no recipe for the icing.
No, it doesn't.
So you have to work that out yourself.
Yep. And this is just royal icing, and that one is cream cheese icing.
Icing is the same for both. Same sort of icing.
This is baking old school style, and Billy's really into the contemporary baking, so he's certainly going to have a challenge ahead of him today.
Look at that lovely little pink swirl, and it is exactly the same colour as the icing.
It's picture perfect. You definitely have to put TLC into the peach blossom cake. It looks simple, but actually there are a lot of components you really have to take care of.
Have a cupcake.
See the difference in the colour? And that, and that.
Billy, you do have a bit of a competitive streak in you, don't you? Yep. Remember that the immunity pin is at stake?
Actually, I'd like that immunity pin for a souvenir.
Oh, I like it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So now for the time limit. You both have 1 hour and 45 minutes to reproduce that beautiful peach blossom cake and, of course, the cupcakes.
Good.
So let the games begin. For the kings and queens of the baking world starts now.
The first thing I do is to start on the peach blossom cake because it needs the longest time to bake and cool down.
The time starts. I prepare the tins and measure out some of the ingredients, get them partly ready before I started mixing the actual cake.
Watching Merle work compared to Billy, it's clear to see that she's cruising along at her own pace, whereas Billy, he's in that MasterChef kitchen mode. He's bang, 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 getting things done. I'm a little bit worried that Merle, she's got to get this cake in the oven. It takes a while for it to cook.
It's going well.
Competing in his first ever immunity challenge today, and he's going up against Merle, a baker with 70 years experience.
Oh my goodness, I was too busy. Didn't even notice.
They've got 1 hour and 45 minutes to create the perfect peach blossom cake and cupcakes.
Oh. One of the characteristics of the peach blossom cake is the pink swirl inside the cake.
I'm layering it so that the pink is in between 2 layers of white. This is the part that is important because the pink does move in your cake as it cooks. And when it's cut, it just gives you a more marbly effect.
White pink, white pink. I just got my cake mixtures done and about to put in the oven.
Do you ever let anybody lick the bowl?
Oh, lots of people.
Yay!
Some of the guys from upstairs wanted to know were they allowed to lick the dish, and I thought that was lovely.
Bring them all up.
Now my cake is in the oven, so it's time for me to move on to cupcakes.
I know Billy's ahead of me, but good on him.
So I love cupcakes. I shouldn't have trouble with cupcakes, so I usually bake for parties and picnics, so yeah, I should be fine with that. 12 to 15 minutes.
One more scrape. Not much to lick. 50 minutes to go and I have the cupcakes in the oven. Also, the peach blossom cake is happily cooking away.
The big advantage that Billy has today is that he's used to this kitchen and he's used to this oven. I know for competition cooks in the country, they're used to cooking in their own home kitchen. They know it inside out.
Can I consult you on my peach blossom? Does that seem all right?
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's a slower oven, it'll take longer for it to rise.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thanks, Mom. All the cakes are now in the oven, so for the pink icing, I'm still a little bit worried that I don't know the recipe.
Watch out, Merle. Billy's spying.
Thank you.
Oh! It is hard to estimate how much coloring you need.
Take some out.
Serious? That's only one drop.
What was that?
What do you reckon? Maybe it's a little bit too pink.
Oh, yes. You should try and match the colour pink of your icing with the pink that's in your cake. The important ingredients for icing are the icing sugar and a little hot water which has some butter melted in it.
She is using melted butter in the water and mixed into the icing sugar. That's the first I've ever seen, so I thought, maybe I'll just follow what she's doing. Right.
That's beautiful.
Are you going to make 2 batches, one white and one pink?
I'll see what she's doing. I'll just follow.
It's finished. Can I just put the glad wrap on it so it doesn't put scum on top?
Has she got other icing covered up so Billy can't see it?
Don't you dare lift that tea towel.
Merle, are you happy with your cupcakes?
Yes, I'm very happy with them.
They look beautiful.
How did they go, Billy?
What do you think? Sorry, I gotta use skill. Oh my God, I only put a tiny hole into the cake to check whether it's cooked or not. I think she freaked out.
I never skewer a cupcake or a cake of any sort. He's using a skewer for them. It's bad if you use a skewer for things as little as cupcakes because it leaves too big a hole right down through the middle of the cupcake.
I love it. Merle's got everything done. She's got the icing made and covered so it's hidden from Billy. And so she sits down to knit.
There it is. Got it.
As you do in the MasterChef kitchen. I'd love to have that time.
How going, Billy?
Meanwhile, Billy's still struggling with the icing.
This one needs to be pinker. Too pink, too pale, a little bit pinker. Too pink, too pale. I just have to keep, adjusting more icing sugar and more coloring. A little bit more.
Do not open
Straight
the door.
brown.
Don't take it out of the oven.
Uh-oh. You sure it's finished, Billy?
Billy keeps opening the oven to check on his cake. This is a huge mistake because the cake bakes at quite a low temperature and you need to have the exact right temperature in the oven. Billy's letting all the heat out. This could mean his cake will be undercooked.
Billy, we've got 15 minutes to go.
Oh, it's stressing me out.
Mine is nearly ready.
Oh. Oh.
Done.
Done.
Billy, Merle, time to ice those cakes. You've got 10 minutes to go.
Hey!
Very good, Billy.
For the cupcakes, as I try to spread the icing on top, and it just starts slowly flowing to the side instead of stay on top of it.
Presentation must be perfect.
Should we write, Jack? With the icing, it's very important not to let it dribble down over the sides because that, in competition, takes points off.
Nothing more enticing than all that yummy icing. You have 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Time's up.
Oh my God. I need a cup of tea now. Wow. Most is neater.
Now, can I see yours?
Yeah, sure. But I like the look of my icing. It looks nice and pink. I think maybe I will win this pain.
Very good.
Thank you. It is a blind tasting, so the judges will not know which is Mo's and which is mine.
Right, well, let's get in the first dish. Let's see plate number 1.
I'm plate number 1, so my cake will be tasted by the judges first.
They look pretty good to me.
Yeah. That icing's nice and fine, which is one of the trademarks, isn't it, of these particular types of cakes?
Yeah, absolutely. But even look at that colour.
A little bit of inconsistency around the edge here. Someone's finished it off with
Bit of
a
a
cutting
spatula,
knife
yeah.
with a few gaps
Overflow,
down the side there. Right, well, let's taste plate 1. Let's start with those cupcakes.
Chrissy, ladies first, you can have your pick.
Oh, I'll go for a little flour.
Matt?
Pink flour, obviously.
Pink flour? I'm going to have a blue.
How's yours?
Mine's really nice, Matt. It's nice and soft. It's definitely cooked really nicely. It's got a beautiful texture to it.
I think it's really even. It's really consistent.
The icing is great.
Really impressive crumb.
How does it feel when you're cutting it? Does it feel a little dense?
It is a little bit dense. There's no definition between the peach and the actual cake. It's just sort of blended in. It looks as though it's been mixed too much. But I still think that the outside of it looks fantastic.
It is really important that the colour of the icing and the colour of the peach blossom inside are the same, and they've nailed that. And that's a hard thing to do.
I have to say, you know, just eating mine, it's moist, but I think it's too moist. I think, if anything, it's
undercooked.
It's a bit cloying on the palate.
Should we score plate 1?
Well, the cupcakes here look very even. They're not quite as humped in the middle. They're quite evenly finished off.
Let's attack our cupcakes.
I have to say, Matt, I have holes all the way through my cupcake.
In terms of show level, an air pocket would cost you marks.
The texture's good though, even though there's a couple of little bubbles in there. It's moist.
It is moist.
Matt, how big a deal are those bubbles in the cupcake?
Look, compared to my first one, Matt, that didn't have any, I think it's a big deal for me. And I don't know, is this cake not as big as the other one? Is it a bit smaller, Matt?
I think it looks more perfect. I think just doing that, and you try and find an imperfection on the way that's been iced around the edge. Look how clean that is. Look at, I mean, it's a beautiful looking cake.
Now, what you guys didn't feel, but when I actually cut that cake, it just glided straight through it. You know, beautiful and soft, like cutting through a cloud. Wow, look at that. That is absolutely perfect.
Beautiful colour.
Beautiful colour. And there's not any sign of faintness anywhere.
You know what I love about this cake is you just rip it apart like that and you look at the evenness of that crumb and the fineness of that crumb. That's absolutely beautiful.
The icing is really nice and glossy. It's slightly buttery, but it's got just the right amount of sugar. And the colour, of course, is perfectly matched with the colour in the cake.
Yep.
It's a pretty fine cake. Well, I think it's going to be a hard call, but we need to score plate 2, so let's do it. Good luck.
Billy, if you win this immunity challenge, you will guarantee your place in the top 10 of MasterChef Australia. We can now reveal that plate number 1 belonged to Billy. Which means plate number 2 belongs to Merle. Let's find out what the judges scored plate number 1 first. Matt?
Billy, I scored your dish 7 out of 10. Billy, loved your cupcakes. A little bit messy on the outside, but to me the flavour was fantastic. The cake itself, it was a little bit too moist. It was as though it hadn't been quite cooked enough.
Next to score, Christine?
Billy, I scored your dish 7 out of 10.
And for the final score for plate number 1, Matt?
Billy, I scored plate number 1, 7 out of 10. Thank you.
Billy, you can't be unhappy with that. You've got 21 points out of a possible 30. So, Merle, you were plate number 2. Matt, what did you score Merle's dish?
8 out of 10. Merle, breaking over the crumb of that peach blossom cake was perfect. It crumbled in your fingers, it was soft, it was airy, it was everything a cake should be. So that's why you had to score more points than Billy. So well done, it was a great bit of baking.
Thank you very much.
Christine, what did you score Merle's dish?
8 out of 10.
Thank you.
Merle, 2 very good scores. That means you've got 16 out of a possible 30. Matt, what did you score Merle's dish?
Merle, I scored your dish.
They certainly like to drag it out.
8 out of 10.
Thank you so much.
Merle, that makes you the winner of the immunity challenge. So I have here a little immunity pin just for you. All right.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. That's wonderful. I won, and I am going to treasure that for the rest of my life.
Now remember, you can use that right up to the final week to avoid an elimination of your choice.
Right, thank you.
I think it's a good trade. Like, you know, maybe I don't get the paint, I get the handwritten recipe from Merle. I think, yeah, I'm very happy.
Merle, thank you so much for coming into the MasterChef kitchen. You've been amazing and inspirational.
Thank you. Goodbye, Billy.
Thank you.
It's so nice to meet you.
I guess it is a little bit of a relief that there's not another pin coming back to the house today. Bad luck to Billy, but it was really nice to see Merle get that pin. She was incredible to watch, and it just shows that experience is everything when it comes to cooking.
Tomorrow night on MasterChef Australia, a team challenge and 2 very different events.
Also really looking forward to good food.
With captains in charge of their first ever catering job.
We're going to have the first course on that table at 12:45. Yes, Peter? Yes, Peter?
Elle, did you pick up coconut? Have we got the food colouring in another bag? Oh my God.
But the most important thing to remember...
Thank you, service.
Beautiful, guys.
Deliver what the clients ask for.
We have nothing to give them. Nothing's ready yet.
Are you joking?
No.